So the Coen brothers, one of the greatest pair of directors that I think we've ever gotten.
Hmm.
From 1984 to 2018, they collaborated and made 18 damn near stellar films time and time again.
Bangers.
And since then, they have kind of parted ways to do some other projects. Joel Coen, a couple of years ago, did The Tragedy of Macbeth with his wife Frances McDormand and also Denzel Washington for Apple TV Plus. And now his brother Ethan Coen, this is his first solo directorial debut with Drive Away Dolls. But this is also a partnership. I would say it's not really just him. It's him and his wife
Hmm.
Trisha Cook, because she helped write this script and they've been married for a really long time now. And they've also been developing the story for quite a while. This movie actually had its initial developments in the early 2000s, years and years ago. But it's just now that they were able to really make this movie, have it come to fruition, and have it release in theaters over this past weekend. But it's an interesting time and place for the Coen brothers because they are pursuing other opportunities and other avenues outside of their own direct partnership. But rumors are out there that they're going to work together again really soon. I read an article that they're writing something as we speak, and so they probably won't be separated for long. But after 2018 with the Ballad of Buster Scruggs, they've now taken two separate paths and have done individual projects. But we got a chance to check out Drive Away Dolls this past weekend, and so all that out the way, man, I will pass it over to you. What did you think about this brand new film from Ethan Coen?
It was okay. It was just okay. I think this is one of those times where mid is the appropriate answer. Like it was literally pretty mid. It was in the middle of everything. It wasn't a terrible film, but I wouldn't necessarily go and call it good either. It was quite simply okay, and I think above all disappointing. I was doing some rewatches before this, man. I was like, I'm about to watch Fargo. No Country for Old Men. Like I'm in it. I was excited for the new Coen brother movie to come out. Although it wasn't both of them. It was just Ethan, but I was still excited and getting myself ready and to watch this film. Did disappoint me quite a bit. This is about two lesbian friends who are made to go out on the road in a car they don't know is has some weird stuff in it. And some seemingly bad people are looking for the stuff in the car, and I can feel hints, I think, of other Coen brother movies in here. Like I feel it, but a lot of it didn't feel original or not necessarily interesting to me. I was looking for this movie to also be funny. Usually a lot of Coen Brothers movies, you laugh a lot. Not all of them, of course, but a lot of them, you're made to laugh a lot. A lot of them are black comedies. And this one just wasn't given that. A lot of the jokes weren't hitting. Some of the performances weren't hitting or weren't funny like I was hoping they would be. And it just winds up being okay. There's a lot of random stuff happens in the film, which again you would expect, but a lot of that stuff was just not landing. And by the end of it, I was just feeling like, dang, I think the Coens need to stick together. What's so interesting is even if you look at Joel and Ethan's all their movies together, I feel like Joel has mainly been the director, right? Like in a lot of like, even though they usually write them all together, Joel was like the main director chair, and Ethan is also there sometimes in the director chair, but Joel's like the main director. And I feel like I felt that. I feel like I could tell like Ethan. Of course, he knows his way, throughout a set, but I could tell like he's probably missing Joel's direction in some of these places. And so, man, by the end of it, again, I was like, dang, they might need to stick together here. I know they're getting up there in age, but yeah, I'm like they may need to just come back and continue to be a duo here. Specifically Ethan. I really like what Joel's kind of doing on his own. I just don't know about Ethan right now. So again, overall, I was disappointed. Was looking for more. And by the end of it, it's just okay. And it is what it is.
So Drive Away Dolls, which in fact is actually originally titled Drive Away Dykes, and that they pay homage to that at the beginning of the movie. It's titled Drive Away Dykes. That was what it was originally called until they changed it. But this movie, I liked it. I don't think it's mid. On my end, I actually found it to be pretty good. It does not reach the heights of what they've previously done by no means, but I didn't expect that either. I think that really the most endearing elements to this again are what you expect from any Coen brothers production, sort of this offbeat comedy, sort of this really weird almost heightened reality of just things that happen coincidentally to all of the people involved. And I think that from the time that you meet really the main leads, both in Margaret Qualley and Geraldine Viswanathan, they have really good chemistry together. Now, I will say that Margaret Qualley kind of goes for it with her performance. She does this southern accent. She has a big screen presence, a lot of charisma. I really like her as an actor. I don't know if all of her choices necessarily worked for me, but I do think that as a unit, those two in particular, because we are primarily following them, I like their
Mm-hmm.
chemistry because they are playing opposites, very, very polar opposites. But you get to experience this sort of lesbian road trip comedy, which I think that you kind of see how not only they are in the midst of a precarious position that they certainly did not plan for, and they are being tracked down by very dangerous people, but we also kind of see how their sexuality develops, how their identity develops, their friendship even develops over the course of this movie. I think my big problem with it though is that it was actually too short. Like it's 84 minutes, and I think that a little bit more time, not a ton, but a little bit more time, maybe north of 90 minutes, could have really serviced the story well. Just because I think that a few more moments between the main players would have been useful, just to develop
Mm-hmm.
even more of a kinship to them. And also, like, there's other star-studded people involved in this movie: Pedro Pascal, Matt Damon. We just don't see enough of them. They're obviously meant to be cameo appearances here, which is fun. I love that they showed up and popped in here. There's also a couple of other surprises, but I think even a little bit more time would have been nice. Like even an extra scene for Beanie Feldstein, who just goes crazy and does something absolutely ridiculous in this movie. I would
Mm-hmm.
have enjoyed to see. But I think some of the choices that they make from the comedy, I laughed a little bit. And I think that I enjoyed watching it. I enjoyed at least going on this journey with them. I enjoyed the experience. I was never bored by it. But overall, what I would agree with is that the direction of Joel has always been his strong point, and I think the creative input and the comedy elements has always been Ethan's strong point because he's always writing most of these scripts. And sometimes
Mm-hmm.
Joel is writing, but a large amount of the scripts that they have done have been coming from Ethan, and I think that they clearly have strengths that just brought together magic. And you kind of see some of the absence of those things when they're not working together. But he's calling back to his previous films. I felt a lot of Raising Arizona in this movie. I felt some of
Mm-hmm.
Intolerable Cruelty in this movie as well, which again, I think Intolerable Cruelty it's kind of another mid-level Coen Brothers movie. Some good moments, some high
Mm-hmm.
moments, but not necessarily the greatest moments, but still decent. That's kind of where I fall with this one. I think that there's like some really, really fun stuff that does happen here, and I love the dynamic, and I love the fact that they can explore this sexuality and this relationship between the two and the other people that come in contact. But definitely could have had a little bit more to it, a little bit more juice behind it. What I do find interesting though is that much of this film is kind of informed by the relationship of Ethan and Trisha. They have a very interesting relationship, a non-traditional marriage. They've been married for 20 plus years, but they both have other partners outside of their relationship. Trisha's also queer, so they don't operate in traditional societal norms. They operate outside
Mm-hmm.
of that. And I think that that's another element that I appreciated about this movie. It felt like a lot of that was injected into this film, and I don't think that this movie
Yeah.
works at all without the perspective of Trisha Cook. Like if she didn't help make this movie, I don't think it works. And I think even though Ethan is the only credited director name, I think that probably
Mm-hmm.
means just as much as Joel being the only credited director name on any of their previous
Right.
movies. Like, okay, yeah, he's the one sole directing credit, but that doesn't really paint the
Exactly.
picture of what the film is. It's always collaborative effort. They always, have multiple people that help bring these productions to life. But ultimately, despite all of that, I thought it was pretty decent. I can't wait to see what they hopefully do next together. If they are indeed writing this script and developing a new project, but even if not, I'm fine with them still pursuing other things outside of their collaborative relationship. I think that they're both strong enough filmmakers to continue to do things in isolation if they so choose to do so. And then if they ever do reunite and do another film together, then of course here for it. So can't wait to see what they do. Can't wait to see what's next from the Coen brothers, but we will have to see. But folks, those are all of our thoughts on Drive Away Dolls. If you checked out this movie, hit us up and let us know what you think.